Welcome back to the show, everyone. I'm your host, Stewart Kraintz. As always, this is your inside track to success, and got a good one for you. Maybe not as long as some of the other episodes that we've had on this show, but going to be valuable for you nonetheless. I actually had the opportunity to be the student, be the client over the weekend, and wanted to impart some of my biggest takeaways so that you can learn as well. And as always, this is applicable to everybody, just some of my journey for sure, but is going to be relevant and applicable to you no matter what your goals are, what your dreams are, what your life circumstances are. Wherever you are in this moment, just know that you are in the exact perfect place to create what you want in your life. That's regardless of the circumstances you find. Again, I've said this on previous episodes, but I believe that if life is a game, likening life to a game, our circumstances are just the set of rules that we are personally blessed to play the game by. And so, with that in mind, just want to dive right in. So, for today's episode, I want to talk about the difference between being intentional versus being incidental. Now, I bet this is just kind of like some buzzword stuff for you at this point. I'm sure you've heard it. I know I've seen it on magazine covers, the rise of intentionality, being intentional. Especially a couple of years ago, I felt like every other YouTube video was talking about being intentional. And while this may be another podcast episode talking about intentionality, it still is going to ring true because it never goes away as being a way to unlock a heck of a lot for you in your life. And I think maybe just the way to start off this episode, I want to just share what intentionality is versus being incidental. So, intentionality is on purpose. Intentionality is coming to something with a plan, with a focus, with an intention. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Is there a reason behind it? Does it serve a greater purpose? Does it serve my vision, my goals, my dreams? Does it serve my family? Does it serve my community? Does it serve the world? Coming into anything that we're doing, how we're spending our time, how we're spending our energy, how we're relating to one another, bringing that level of focus is how you create intentionality. And that's important because energy is a finite resource. Yes, we do get to replenish it each and every day, but it is something that we're always spending and have to regenerate. Same can be said for money. Are you an intentional spender? Do you have a budget every month? Do you give intentionally to your charities or your church or your local nonprofits that you believe in? Or are you just spending it recklessly? Here's the big one, y'all, is time. It's the one resource we never get back, and we're always spending. Intentionally spending your time is knowing what you're doing with focus, with vision, with a clear goal, being clear and direct with what you're doing and how you're spending it. It's not sitting on your phone scrolling TikTok or Instagram for hours on end. That's absolutely not intentional time. So, intentionality is something that, again, is a bit of a buzzword in our society today, but it is a learned practice as well. And before I get into that, kind of already hinted at it, but just want to make sure we talk about what it means to be incidental. Incidental means, quite frankly, I'm doing it just because. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing the thing with any real motivation, no purpose, no intention, for lack of a better word. And again, the example of time, it's the idea of killing time can be intentional if you're specifically coming into it with the idea that I am going to relax. But again, if you're just scrolling on your phone, doom scrolling, surfing, Instagram, TikTok, without any real purpose in mind, that's not intentional. That is incidental. Being incidental with our food is I'm just hungry. I got to eat something. There's McDonald's. There we go. Right. Or just rummaging through the back recesses of your pantry to find something that's there because you're hungry. You need to satisfy, the cravings you have. Intentional eating would be having the meal plan, following it to the end so that you create the results you want in your body and in your health. Another thing that surfaced for me was the idea of being intentional with your relationships. Who are you surrounding yourself with? It's often said, and there is ample research to back this up, that we are the composite, we are the average of the 5 to 7 people we spend the most time around. Do you know who those people are? In this moment, you listening to this right now, do you know who those 5 to 7 people are? And I'll tell you right now, if you don't know the answer to that question readily off the top of your head, you're probably not being intentional with the company you keep. So, intentionally surrounding yourself with the people that love you, support you, prop you up, motivate you, keep you going. That is being intentional with your relationships. Surrounding yourself with people who are just in your everyday life just because they're there is being incidental because it's just an incident that they happen to be there. I think a trap that we fall into on this point is a lot of us, and I've been guilty of this in the past, is failing to cultivate relationships outside of work. How often are our friends as adults just the people that we spend time in our cubicle farms with each and every day when we're punching the clock in a place that we may or may not want to be? Bonding over the commiseration of the shared experience of working for an employer that you may or may not like, versus surrounding yourself with maybe the 1 or 2 people at work that have goals, have dreams, have ambition, that are propping you up, pushing you, wanting you to succeed, going all in with you, and maybe even holding space when you're having a bad day. That's being intentional with your relationships. And so this is just something to think about for you guys, but it's been really on my heart today. And I'm posing this question to you with every amount of love and sincerity and wanting you to win. Just going to ask, where in your life are you being intentional and where are you being incidental? None of this is to poke fun. None of this is to beat up or even be in judgment. It's just to hold the mirror up to you so you can take a good look for yourself and see what is or isn't working. Because our results in our lives are a direct result of our intentions and our commitments. And I'm just going to say that again. The results we create in our lives are a direct result of our intentions and our commitments. So if you want to be in the best shape of your life, running marathons, performing in triathlons, or even just being able to hit the dance floor with your partner or spouse, and you are in too much pain to even get up off of the couch, that's a good look in the mirror at what your intentions and what your commitments are. The commitment can follow a solid intention. So it's important that you know where you want to go and hold it as your North Star each and every day. Same can be said for your bank account. And yes, I know sometimes bad things happen. You got to make a big purchase or a huge expense comes up, something out of the blue that can wipe you out. However, generally speaking, your bank account is a direct result of whether or not you're being intentional or incidental with your spending. Does every dollar have a purpose? Or are you going with the flow? Going with the flow is more often than not, y'all, lack of intention. Same can be said with your relationships. Same can be said with your career. Are you just in the job to get paid? Maybe that is the intention for a little bit, and so is that sustainable? Are you in a job, though, that long term can become a career? Not only a career, but a career that you can love and thrive in. And like I said, motivates you to be your best each and every day. That's a much more intentional way of spending our working hours, which, by the way, as adults, y'all, is where we spend most of our waking hours. Are you being intentional with your children? Are you creating that committed time for them? I'm not perfect at this, but when they come to talk to you, are you glued to your phone? When they want to spend time with you, are you glued to your phone? Versus giving them your uninterrupted and undivided attention. Intentional versus incidental. You know, as a mindset success and relationships coach, I spend a lot of my time just getting people clear on what their vision and what their goals are and making sure that they're taking those strong committed actions. But really, at the end of the day, all I'm doing is getting folks to create intentionality around their lives and getting them to really look at why they are or aren't holding the intention and thereby taking those strong committed actions that are actually going to move the needle on whatever the goal or the dream is. That's kind of the secret sauce. People, whether for reasons that are beyond their control or just patterning and conditioning, often lose the intention. They lose the vision, they lose the sight, their sights on where they want to go. And so, what I wanted to offer you guys today is ways to increase the intentionality in our lives. And so, the very first thing I want to impart upon you is intentionality. It's almost entirely rooted in the present. My intention today can be different from my intention yesterday, and it can absolutely be different from my intention tomorrow because I will be a different person tomorrow than I was today. The present is the only time when anything new and different can occur. You know, in this workshop I attended over the weekend, we stared at our feet on the ground, firmly planted on the floor, and we're asked to say out loud the following. We said, right here, right now, is the only place where something new and different can occur. Right here, right now, is the only place where something new and different can occur. You may have heard the old Chinese parable that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Cool, awesome. The next best time is right now. And what this does, y'all, this and the mantra that we were saying regrounds you in the energy that you are exactly as you are in this moment, listening to this podcast in this moment, capable of enacting change. You are capable of shifting. You are capable of taking whatever that committed action is towards your goal. Capable of stepping into something new, making a new choice, leaving the past behind that might be chaining you down and shackling you to a version of yourself that no longer serves you. Right here, right now is the only place where something new and different can occur. Getting yourself grounded in that, repeating that phrase over and over again can support you in creating the intention. So, for example, right here, right now is the only place where something new and different can occur. And then what is my intention? My intention is to show up powerfully and with energy today in all of my interactions. Then I'm ready to go start my day. This can be further solidified for yourself by writing it down, by repeating it out loud, by saying it in a mirror. Might sound kind of hokey to some of y'all, but trust me, it works. Anything to recreate and reprocess and build that muscle memory for yourself to get it in your system works. Right here, right now is the only place where something new and different can occur. And state your attention. It's powerful stuff if you allow it to be. And so, with that in mind, thinking about some of the stuff that could be going on, just know that another great way to create intention is to actually reach out for support. So often, when we're faced with a problem, when we're faced with insecurity, when we're faced with self doubt, fear, sadness, anger, any of those feelings that are not furthering us, we have the tendency to close in, have the tendency to close off, isolate ourselves, disassociate. Going back to the phone, like how easy is it to find yourself on TikTok 45 minutes at a time, just scrolling through videos when you could be doing anything else with your life? Reaching out for support doesn't even have to be a coach like me. It can be somebody that you just know, love, and trust. Stating them, hey, here's where I'm at. Here's where I want to go. Can you hear me out? Can you hold space? Can you support me in regrounding where I'm at or in who I am? Reaching out for support is a very intentional use of your time. Because if nothing else, you won't be suffering alone with whatever your circumstances are. So remember that. Another piece is breathing. We breathe all day, every day, and we don't think about it. That's okay. That's part of being a human being. But when we intentionally breathe, really focus on the force, the pattern, the quality of the breath we're taking, is actually how you build intentionality within your body. You can actually develop a lot of energy in a very short amount of time by doing a type of breathing that has actually been backed by a lot of research by the Huberman Lab at Stanford University. And it's just like this. And I'm actually going to lean into the microphone so you can hopefully hear it. But it's just 2 quick inhales in and an exhale out. Really quick. So 2 inhales in, exhale out. And in full force, it sounds like this. And what this is doing is it's causing me to get present in the moment because I'm focused on my breath. And in being focused on my breath, I'm focused on my body. And in being focused in my body, I can feel a shift occurring in my system. And what that does is it recalibrates me, it gets me recentered, it gets me refocused, and I can set the intention for whatever the challenge may be. If I have to go into a sales meeting that I'm a little nervous about, or if I have to go have that conversation with a loved one that's giving me anxiety. Quick breathing like that, very easy. Anybody can do it. Doesn't take a lot of time either. It's maybe a second and a half. Obviously, please repeat it until you notice a shift. But in that research in the Huberman Lab, it's been proven it doesn't take a lot. Probably only 5 or 6 of those, and you can regain your level of presence in the moment. And so these are the types of things that are available to you. But knowing that if you're listening to this, you are probably somebody who has goals, has dreams, has inspiration, has a desire to serve others and to have an impact on this earth, which is beautiful and super important. And life is always going to keep happening. You might get fired from your job. You might lose a loved one. Marriage or relationship might not go the way you hoped it would. Whatever the thing may be, you're always going to have reasons to quit on yourself, quit on your goals, quit on your dreams, even just to disassociate and be in the drift. Intentionality is kind of the through line that'll keep you grounded in who you are, what you're about, what you're up to, and where you want to go. And so, again, we'll ask you the question, are you being intentional with your life? Are you being intentional with your time, your energy, your relationships, your money, your health, and overall just your choices? Checking in with yourself right now is a form of intentionality. And so if it would benefit you to journal on this, please go ahead and do so. Not only will it up your intentionality, but it will reveal some things to you in terms of what is or maybe is not working for you currently in your life. How can you shift it? Because right here, right now, is the only place where something new and different can occur. And boy, are you worth it. You are worthy of your goals, your dreams, your aspirations. And I'm just going to say it, y'all, in a world that has so much going on right now that isn't great, humanity and the world needs you at your best each and every day. So wherever you go, go well. So, y'all, this has been your host. I'm Stewart Kraintz. This is your inside track to success. I know this is definitely a shorter episode this week, and that's okay. Being intentional with our time this week. And so, whoever you are, wherever you are, if you got any value out of this episode, please like, subscribe, please share with a friend. Cost of admission is free. We just ask that you share this out so that other people can gain these insights, learn this wisdom, and are impacted by it as well. Please share your main takeaways in the comments. Love to get the conversation going with you as well so that I know what's valuable to you so I can keep producing these episodes. Thank you all for being here this week. Love you guys. See you next time.